Hey everybody. So I've got a little bit of a cold, but I want to talk about distortion today. And there's a lot going on. So if you're curious about what I think about things that have happened, someone has been unalived, supposedly, and I don't believe that. I believe this is part of the movie. It is 9/11, which means there's a lot of other information that may happen today. And we're kind of at a point where we're speeding up again. So I want to talk about distortion in this church, but I want to also say, really take care of yourself as we go through this process because it's big. And there is distortion everywhere. And here in this church, which was absolutely beautiful Tartarian creation, it was completely changed just when it comes to the windows. Probably if I had been in there longer, maybe I would have noticed more. But think about distortion. Distortion is how we have been fooled for so long. And now that we're basically recycling the memories to let go, those distortions are being cleared. And it doesn't really feel great as we do that. And there are some amazing windows in this church that were switched out that basically have, look at this church here. So this is one of the windows, and it's got a bull and a triangle and an eye within the triangle. And these symbols have been taken over and distorted because the third eye, or the eye of Horus, as some people would say, is actually an amazing thing. It's how you connect to the universe. But they made it ugly on top of a lot of their behavior, the 1%. And that's what we're switching out of. So when you see the distortion that's going on, you're going to see a lot of it. And really do your best not to get your nervous system wrapped up in what's happening. But these things are here for a reason. Now they're here to just show us. And some people will be discovering this stuff for a long time. Some people are just in their awakening process. They've just started. And that's a slower timeline. And some people are ready to build the new. So if you can think of it as a slinky, some people are at the beginning of the slinky, and some people are at the end. And the slinky's still going. It all goes together. Eventually the end joins the front, like they're together. However, they're not going to get there at the same time. So this is where a lot of the timeline separation comes from. And really learning not to take all this stuff so personally is important, because duality is something that we're letting go of. And when we blame someone, then we take our eye off of our own self. So blaming someone else for how you feel or for their actions and being really angry is actually bypassing your own stuff. And we're in a massive healing process right now, so we don't want to be doing that. Now, seeing that it happened and saying, no, I'm not interested in doing that again, is totally valid and very important right now, because we're also coming into sovereignty. But humanity has been very black and white for a very, very long time. And really just looking at good and bad and negative and positive and all of that. And there's some shades of gray. And also, people have different perceptions and they have a different angle that they're looking at things from. So maybe one person is 10 feet on the right-hand side of something that happened. They're watching someone cook something or an accident happened, and they see one thing, and the person on the other side, 20 feet away from them, sees something completely different. So it is important to really focus on your own perception, focus on your own inner world, and be aware of it. Because there's a lot of stuff coming up, just like this Colosseum here. There is a lot of old layers being cleared right now. And because that's happening, it causes stress energetically. And a lot of stuff's going to get thrown in the air. I know here where I'm at right now, there's lots of things that have had to be cleared just to be able to be comfortable sleeping at night. So in these places that are old world places, there's a lot more distortion. But honestly, a lot of the places that we inhabit now, even if they're rural, they've had a lot of things happen. So the earth has gone through many, many layers of civilizations, and we're clearing one layer after another right now. And as the 3D falls outside, we're going to see more and more of that happen, be brought up to the surface. But it's going to get easier and easier once we get to that critical point, and I think we're really close. So let's just allow the change to come in and love ourselves through this process and really